We have Parashat Balak, a parasha that is full of chidushim, full of insights, full of Mussar, full of lessons that we could all apply to our lives. And the truth is that when you look at this parasha, you're seeing a few things. You're seeing a few things. Of course, the parasha starts where the Hashem's promise to Am Yisrael, when they are righteous, is actually shown. Many times we see our version of things. We see how, the enemy is, scaring us, causing us problems, but we're not necessarily always seeing the protection until after the fact. But one of the blessings that HaKadosh Baruch Hu promises to Am Yisrael is that when we are righteous, when we are following the Torah, it's not only that it'll protect us from enemies, but the enemies will be scared of us. The enemies will be scared of us, regardless of which enemy, whether it's Iran or it's your next door neighbor, whether it's your competitor or it's your ex-wife. Whatever it is, the enemy will be scared of you. Now, of course, this is one of the things we see at the beginning of the parasha. Unfortunately, it doesn't last till the end of the parasha, but nonetheless, in the beginning of the parasha, we see that Balak is petrified because he sees that Am Yisrael just destroyed Sichon and Og. And one of the reasons why this scares him is because Sichon, he actually took over a big part of the land that belonged to Balak at some point. He lost the war to Sichon. And this scares him. This puts him in a situation where he's starting to look into the abyss and see how his end is near. And he simply cannot tolerate just sitting there, and he wants to attack. Now, what weapon does he want to use? He wants to use the same weapon that worked on him. How did Sichon beat him? Because the first time Sichon tried to attack him, didn't win. But the second time they came, they actually won. And that's because they got the help of Bilaam. Bilaam, who was a prophet and also someone that dealt with witchcraft. Some say only witchcraft. Needless to say, this person was the prophet of the Gentiles. This was actually, the Gemara in Masechet Avodah Zarah says that HaKadosh Baruch Hu allowed Bilaam to have a specific strength, or specific ability, I should say, that even Moshe Rabbeinu did not have, which is that he knew the rega, the moment that Hashem punishes the people in the world each day. And if he takes advantage of that moment, and he also curses somebody, then that person gets punished as well. This is the way that he helped Sichon defeat Balak and his army of Moab. Now, the problem here is that this is not the end of the story. This is just the beginning. So we see that in the beginning, we see that Balak is actually, the beginning of the story starts at the end of last week's parasha, where the Balak is part of Parashat Chukat, where he is mocked by Bilaam, where in the section of the parasha where it talks about the defeat that took place, where it says, woe to Moab that lost the war, that their land was taken over. And it says in the chapter 21, verse number 27, Al ken yamru hamoshlim bo'u cheshbon tibaneh v'tikonen ir Sichon, where it says regarding this, the poets would say, and the Chachamim say, was really Bilaam and his father. Come to Cheshbon, let it build and establish as the city of Sichon. So this is talking about how the story starts where Moab, led by Balak, is not necessarily at a good position. They're in dire straits, and now after they've been weakened, they're trying to keep to themselves until in their idolatry, until they see that their enemy, Sichon, was defeated, and now they realize that they're next. They're next in line. But there's no thing that's going to get in the way of their desires, so they're even going to hire their enemy, which was Bilaam, in order to help them fight the war. But we see that the treatment that Balak has to Bilaam is a relationship of contempt. He hates him. Even though Bilaam is technically the holy person among the Gentiles, he is the leader, he is the holy one, we see that he actually hates him, he insults him several times. Even the Chachamim say that even when Bilaam finally arrived to Balak, Balak just sends him food and does not even sit with him. The relationship is an odd relationship. But more than this, we have to see that how Bilaam himself is really someone that we have a lot to learn from. His acts, not obviously his intentions, not his heart, but the words that he says, because of course everything that's mentioned in the Torah is the words of HaKadosh Baruch Hu for us to learn from. And we see that Bilaam initially, he sees a situation where he's indifferent about who wins or loses, because he just pretty much wants to benefit himself. So he uses his abilities in order to enrich himself, in order to feed himself. He cares less about who the winner is, who the loser is, with helping the nations, until it comes to the nation of Israel, which he hates with a hatred unlike any other. Meaning that it's not just that he wanted to benefit monetarily by getting paid by Balak for cursing Am Yisrael. He wants to destroy Am Yisrael regardless. We are meant to be a light unto the nations, not to follow their misguided practices. Remember, every Jew has to remember that he's a Jew and she's a Jew. We don't celebrate non-Jewish holidays, even if they seem harmless. It's a zilzul, disrespect to the Torah, and could lead to Chilul HaShem, desecration of God's name. Stick to our holy Torah and our own holidays. That's the path of a true Jew.